The unsurpassed, penetrating and perfect truth is seldom met with, even in 100,000 myriad kalpas. Now we can see and hear it. We can remember and accept it. I vow to make the Buddha's truth one with myself. Homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dharma, homage to the Sangha. So I was asked to talk about letting go. But actually I talk about letting go all the time. And here we are again. So I thought I'd try a slightly different tack. Letting go with courage. It's actually hard to let go without courage, when you think about it. Letting go is one of those really simple teachings that sounds so obvious, but is really profound, and it pervades everything in our life. Everything. Constantly. Opportunities to let go or not. Being a human being, it actually is a constant practice of letting go. You're constantly changing. Every moment is different. And actually being a human being takes a lot of courage just to live this life. We'd never take it on if we knew what it was going to be like. But here we are. Actually, it's all right. But here we are. And it constantly changes. Constantly opportunities to relinquish and just step out into the unknown with courage, like our friend Bodhidharma. Just goes off there, leaving behind everything. Leaving behind India. China's totally different. Of course, he has no idea when he sets forth. Sailing in a boat for 3 years or something. Didn't really know where he was going. Arrives in this new land. That's an enormous letting go and an enormous stepping out in courage. So, he's our example today. So, letting go for us. The things and the people we cling to, the most obvious aspect. Letting go of the things that get taken away from us, or the things we just want to relinquish. The people who come and go in our lives. Everything changes all the time, as we know. People change all the time. We change all the time. And when something is taken away from us, we have to let it go. And let go of clinging to that grasping mind that wants to hold on to whatever it was, wants to bring back the past, relive the past, remember the person who once was, and now they're not, either they're not there anymore, they're different, everything is different. Our past ideas of how it was, which is always much rosier, nearly always much rosier than it actually was. The lovely golden days of the past, maybe a little bit tarnished when you think about them more closely. Accepting our new situations with courage, just relinquishing what has gone, accepting the new thing with courage. Here it is. Our house burns down, the most dramatic example of something just been torn away. You can imagine what that's like. You never get it back. You can't bring back the past. You might get a new house, but it won't be the same. You just have to accept what's happened, whether it's our house burning down, whether it's just a small mundane matter, but accept it with courage, constantly, constantly. We cannot bring back the past. We cannot recreate it. We cannot live in it, or if you do, it's pretty miserable. To just step onwards, move on with courage. Old age, sickness and death. We seem to be having rather on our face lately. It's a wonderful lesson in letting go. This is what brought the Buddha to training. Old age, sickness and death. This is awful. What can I do about it? How can I come to terms with this? And what it is we have to just let go of what it is, each moment. The people we love, they get old, they get sick, they die, they change, they don't love us anymore, or something happens. We can't bring back that young person they once were. We can't hold on to people who leave us. We just have to accept change. Obvious, but actually sometimes really hard for us. And to keep remembering us, keeping it before our eyes, I think is really helpful, especially in these times of change. Courage to actually look it right in the eye. We get old and sick and we will die. This takes a lot of courage. Old age is not for cowards, as they say. And when we can no longer do something we used to do easily, it takes courage to face that and accept it. Moving wood, we might give ourselves a sciatica attack, and now we're living with the consequences. Thinking we can do it as we used to do 20, 30 years ago. Guess what? That happened to. Just to accept change. I can't really do this anymore. Don't be an idiot, Meian. Put it down, or take little bits, not just huge great piles of stuff. Little bits at a time, a little at a time, not the whole thing. There we go. To accept change, accept our, getting older, people getting sick, us getting sick. Accepting death, When we're dying, that will be the ultimate letting go. We'll have to let go of everything we know, everybody we know, everything we think we are. Let go of all the skandhas, the body, the mind, the feelings, the consciousness, all of it. Just have to relinquish. And that takes courage. However, people have been doing this for millions of years. So we'll be able to do it too. But human life and human death and human old age and sickness, it all takes courage. But I think we have it when we need it. You can't say, nope, I want to send it back. I don't like it. We're in the tube. Here we are. We got it. And we will have what we need if we open ourselves to it and we don't try and cling on to something that's gone or resist what's coming, Sometimes we need to make a big change in our life, like Bodhidharma, He leaves India to go to China. You might make a really big change. And this actually takes great courage sometimes to do something that's a life-changing thing and do it and then take the consequences without complaint. I made this choice, this is what I have, now I have it, it's fine. Go with it and don't look back, thinking, oh, what if I'd done such and such? It would be, the rosy picture we have of the what-ifs. No suffering when you think about if it had only been like this, Of course there would have been suffering. Accepting the way things are now, wholeheartedly, with courage, and not whining, actually, in a word. In meditation, letting go of thoughts, like Uchiyama says, Uchiyama Roshi, opening the hand of thought. It's a wonderful analogy. We are gripping onto our little thoughts, our little mind, and then, oh, what am I doing? Relinquish it. I don't have to throw it away, but just to relinquish the grip. Maybe better that way than this way, because they're more likely to fall out. Just to come back, to relinquish that grip. It actually takes courage to relinquish trying to control everything with thought. My plans, what I'm going to do later, I mustn't forget such and such, oh, I didn't call so-and-so, oh, all that stuff. To just put it down. It's all right. I'll deal with it later. And to trust that it'll actually be there when we need it. And if it's not, very likely we will survive. But it takes courage, actually, and it takes trust that actually we don't have to keep a grip on everything all the time. We don't have to have our life perfectly in our control. We can actually let it flow through. We actually are not in control at all anyway, so we might as well just relax a little and not try to grip on. But it does take courage and trust to open that hand of thought, that hand of planning and figuring out and trying to be in control of things. Letting go of our old habits that we're comfortable with, whether they're good for us or bad for us. Our ways of doing things, our routines, doing something different, stepping out of our little zone of comfort. Sometimes our way of life is disrupted and it doesn't work anymore for one reason or another, and we have to change. But to face that with courage and not try to hold on to that shell that was around us before. We had to let go of that shell or that nice little comfortable spot and something's different. Maybe we've burst out of the chrysalis, you just don't know. To step out, spread our wings and see what happens. Facing the need to change. It does take courage. Habits of mind even more so. Our habits of mind that we're comfortable with. Our ways of looking at things. Our opinions and views about everything. Even our ideas of right and wrong. We can be wrong. And to actually be able to see, I've been completely wrong about this. I've been completely wrong. I need to change my view. It actually takes a certain amount of courage, not to say humility, and trust that actually, we maybe didn't need that deluded view. Maybe we can get along without it. It's like taking a little skin off. Yeah. Our habits of not just thinking, but our habits of mind of fear or wanting or trying to keep ourselves comfortable. Our habits of selfishness, actually. There's habits that we kind of enclose ourselves in. To be able to relinquish some of those. Eventually we have to relinquish all of them, but we try one at a time. To stop trying to create who we are and to be willing to be something different, whatever that might be. Admitting to our mistakes, when I've been wrong about something, I've done something really dumb, to admit to that and to relinquish the self-blame or blaming other people or blaming our situation. It wasn't my fault, it wasn't me, or I had a horrible thing happen to me. But just, that wasn't wise. But now I've got the results. How do I do my best with it? And to relinquish that blame, judgment, all that stuff. Our views about ourselves, our history, our past, whatever makes us me. Letting go of this. The joys and sorrows of our life, our story, the people we've loved and lost, all these things that make us me. Our memory of me. Our whole idea of who we are and our place in the world. It's pretty hard to imagine who we'd be if we didn't remember who we were, if you see what I mean. If we didn't have memory, it sounds silly, doesn't it? If we didn't have memory to tell me who I am, I wouldn't know who I was. I like this, every now and then I sort of think of people with amnesia. They don't know who they are. So if they forget to be that crabby old person who was there before, and they just become maybe a nice new person, or maybe vice versa, but the memory is gone, so they don't know what they're supposed to be like. They may be completely different. I think it's wonderful. Sometimes people with dementia either become awful or they become sweet, but they're often different because they can't remember what they're supposed to be like. They've had to let go, for better or worse. I think it does take a certain amount of courage just to actually live each day not knowing which way is up or what's going to happen or even who we are. But there's not much choice in it, really. But it still takes courage to live that way, to live with something like dementia or amnesia or something like that. Can we really let go of me, who I am, who I think I am, my place in the world and all that? That would take the greatest courage of all, to relinquish that view of me. However, nearly all of our letting go is gradual. Occasionally something gets ripped away from us in a dramatic way, but mostly it's just a gradual, drip-by-drip process. These little moments when you don't have to follow our crabby impulse. I can let go of that thought of wanting to kill that person. I can let go of that judgment. I can let go of wanting to be right and have it my way. It's okay. Maybe it's all right if it isn't my way. Maybe it's better to let go of these little things we grip onto and make them as suffering. There's so many of them. And if we do lose everything at once, we will face it with courage because there will be nothing else to do. We just take things as they come. Take what comes our way with courage. There's nothing else to do. And to trust that we actually can do that. Not to worry about all the things that might happen. We can do that if we want, but we don't really have to. To just say, all I have is this moment. How do I live it as best I can? Past is gone, future isn't there. Just this moment is what I have. That's courage. And trust. Gradually letting go of our attachment to what we like and love and want. As I've often said, we've all often said, letting go doesn't mean you're getting rid of something. It doesn't mean you have to throw away all the things you like, never eat chocolate again. It means more to relinquish the grip that makes me, this will make me happy. If I have this, it will make me happy. If I can keep this, I'll be happy and safe. Because it's not like that. Relinquishing that grip, seeing how we cling to this and that. Letting go of that, I have to have this at all costs. Or I just hate that. I hate that. I just cannot stand that. I do not want it. But to be able to just accept with equanimity. Sometimes something falls away quite naturally. We don't want to do that anymore. And sometimes we cling on tenaciously. But either way, it's going to be gone sooner or later. We have to let it go. Really, it comes down to letting go of our selfishness. I want it my way. The core of letting go of selfishness, whether it's my view of myself and who I am, or what I want, or being comfortable, or having what I like, or thinking in terms of ourselves and everything around, everything being relating to me. To be able to relinquish that and actually let go of that impulse to grab onto one thing and push away another thing. As Kanji Sosen says, the way to the ultimate is not hard. Simply give up picking and choosing. Not so easy. Equanimity, that's what it is. It takes effort not to be constantly pushed around by what I want and what I don't want, grabbing us and letting, pushing away that, but letting go of these constant desires for me or aversions relating to me. Even fear, to relinquish being bound by fear and to step out with courage into that unknown. Seeing where our selfishness arises, to see how it pervades so much of our life, so much of how we think and respond to things. Looking at it straight on. No excuses, no hiding behind other people's mistakes or blaming situations or circumstances, just saying straight on. That was selfish. Why am I upset? Because I don't like this. I think things should be different. I want to be comfortable and I want to get what I want. That's really what it often comes down to. I don't like it. I want something else. The recipe for suffering. And it actually takes a fair bit of honesty, which is actually courage. Honesty is courage. Looking at it straight on. What am I up to? What's my mind doing? Why am I over here doing this? Because I want something. Or I don't want something. And it's okay to want things and not want things, but to not be driven by them. To see what we're actually doing. What am I doing? To look at it clearly, head on, not to hide and obfuscate like that, but to look clearly at what we're doing, at why we're doing it. What is at the bottom of this upset or grasping or whatever it is? Self. Courage and faith. Letting go requires courage and faith. But it is the way to ends suffering. As Ajahn Chah said, if we let go a little, we get a little bit of peace. Let go a lot, get a lot of peace. If you let go of everything completely, you get complete peace. Sounds wonderful. Let us let go completely, But of course, it's not like you can just throw it all away in one swell of food. It would be lovely if you could. Or we'll just let go completely and lie like a jellyfish, Not like that at all. You have this constant daily little things here and there that annoy us, or little things that we don't like, or little greeds. What am I doing? Oh, that's what it is. Just the clinging in these big ways and little ways. To see them, to recognize them for what they are, and to relinquish the grip, not throwing things away, but just relinquishing the grip. And thinking of old Bodhidharma, gratitude to him. Who knows what we'd be doing if it wasn't for him? And all of those ancestors, each one in that chain, has passed on the precious thing to us. To be grateful to all of them. All of them gave up a whole lot for the Dharma. Whether you're a monk or a lay person, it's still required of us as Buddhists, because it's fundamental to our practice. This letting go pervades everything, and we can do it. And that's it. Thank you.